Hey, what's up, Roxstars? It's Rox, and I'm coming to you today with a review for Greenleaf Season 3, Episode 10. So let's get to it, shall we? Alright, so it's dark. Y'all know I'm trying to do this before. Actually, we're going on a tour of Georgia State today. See if Jada might want to go there. So I'm trying to get this done this morning before I have to start my day. Anyway, you guys. So the show opens with Lady May, and she's emailed the family to let them know that the family that she started with James 40 years ago has finally come to an end. The divorce is finalized. We need to take possession of this new life with hope. God would only want that from us, no more than that. Okay, she sends it to everybody, including the bishop. She lets them know that the bishop also has this letter, and they're all reading on with sadness. I actually was pretty sad too, y'all. The end of an era that we only been knowing for 3 years. Later on, we see Zora Mama on the phone, and she's talking to one of the parishioners, okay? They seem to be quite upset about the fact that Tasha the Skank is not at the church anymore, but she is trying to calm them down, let them know, you know what, everything is going to be just fine. I know Tasha the Skank is going to land on her feet wherever she goes. It's all good, okay? When she gets off the phone, she tells Jacob, like, you know, they act like she's the first lady. I knew I should have quit that job. Now she got to go and show everybody over there at, what is it called, Triumph? We got to go show everybody over there who's the head BIC. And she got an afro and a scowl on her face. And then we see Grace and Rochelle with Cora Lee. Cora Lee didn't have second thoughts. Remember, she said she was prepared to fight? Okay, well, now she's not. She comes just to tell them that she's going to take the deal, okay? Because life is a whole lot longer than 20 years, and she got kids, and she needs to keep them in mind. And Grace is trying to tell her, like, no, I got a really good lawyer for you. And Cora Lee is like, nope, I already made up my mind. You're not going to change it. She's about to leave her. And Wicked City Rochelle tells her, no, sit that ass down. You ain't going nowhere. Then she says, let me tell you a story about somebody who has been in foster care. When I was younger, she didn't have her parents. She hopped around from place to place. It was pretty much a terrible situation. I know you don't want that for your kids. You would be sending them pretty much to a real jacked up life. Okay, and do you want that? Well, Cora Lee doesn't want that for her babies. She wants to be with her babies. I mean, the whole thing is just a mess. But she listens to Wicked City woman Rochelle, and she says, okay, you know what? You got me. But I do want to meet the lawyer and get a feel for him myself. And they all agree on that. Now, while Wicked City woman Rochelle was telling her the story of her foster life, Grace was listening. It's always so funny to see Grace. She just be standing over there looking like she, girl, you can hear like the little thing in her brain going. She just be computing. So when she was listening to that story, she calls Darius. And she says, I think we might have something on Wicked City woman Rochelle. So she's going to have him do a little research on the side. Now, Lady May and Maxine, you know, she's at the church and they just like, you know, good girlfriends. They always giggling around the offices, you know, and Bishop sees Maxine in the hallways, you know, and he's bigging her up. You know, she's telling him how wonderful she heard the Jubilee was. And he says, you got the big day coming. So they kind of going back and forth with each other in a joking like way, you know, serious but not serious. And when he walks away, Maxine lets Lady May know that Bishop is shaking in his boots. I said, Maxine, I'm not quite sure if Maxine is good or bad for Lady May. What y'all think? She got a little bit of mess in her. Now, at the church, I guess now that Wicked City woman Rochelle, you know, is giving all this money and is so immersed in the congregation, she got a temporary office. Bishop comes in there and she says, yeah, this is just where she's going to be temporarily, but let me ask you a question. Are the rumors true? And Bishop says, what rumors? There's so many of them, I can't keep track. And she says, the one that you supposedly, your divorce is finalized. And he says, yes, it is true. She was just like, well, good then. Hey, time to party. We can have a midday drink if you'd like to celebrate. And then she looks at him and then she says, or, you know, so you can cry on my shoulder. The bishop says, I would like that. I said, oh, Bishop. Now you drinking in the middle of a goddamn day. Child, that woman is not good for you. Wicked City woman Rochelle can't go have that drink just yet. Okay, they done already set up for Cora Lee to meet with the lawyer. So, it's this black gentleman, and he seems to be quite sharp and smart and knows what he's doing. And Cora Lee talks to him, and she seems comfortable enough with him. So she says, okay, all right, you guys got me. I am willing to fight this. And everybody is relieved. But Cora is scared. Now, her life is on the line. 20 years, life, all of that seems long to me. But Wicked City woman Rochelle lets her know that her kids are going to thank her. This was the best decision. And she gives her a reassuring hug. Okay, again, Grace just looking. Now, Zora mama, she got to get the handle on what's going on at her husband's church. First things first, let's meet with the new accountant. All right, they just hired him on. They haven't had an official accountant in the last 3 months. And the accountant was like, yeah, I know that you haven't. I can tell. The damn books is a mess. And he tells her that there's some strange accounts in here. Many discrepancies. Do you know anything about this? And of course, Zora mama don't know shit about nothing. I said, don't. Jake about to be in even more trouble. And speaking of Zora mama, child, Zora. Okay, now we see Zora with her boyfriend, Lil El DeBarge. And the nigga got the nerve to still be singing gospel. Maybe it's inspirational now. They've made that designation, that separation. But I'm just like, his evil ass, like, what? You ain't even trying to keep... So anyway, I'm not quite sure what he's supposed to be singing any longer. But he's on this radio show. And Zora's there with him, I guess being the supportive girlfriend. The radio DJ is having callers call in. And it's a bunch of women. And, the women are all like, ooh, Lil El DeBarge, I can't wait to see you. And I mean, just with this whole little sexual twinge on it, I was so confused. Maybe he's not singing gospel any longer. Not that we ain't got holes in the church. Okay, now let me be clear. Baby, they everywhere. But, another girl calls in and she's asking about Zora. Is that his girlfriend? And, he looks over at Zora and he's just sort of like, it is what it is. He doesn't answer that he has a girlfriend. Okay, while Zora's over there sitting listening, her phone goes off. Somebody texts her and it goes dee-dee-dee, like makes a noise in the room. He look up at Zora and I said, Zora, girl, that is your ass. Okay, why the fuck is Zora with this guy? I mean, what is actually likable about him? I mean, he has flipped so much. He's like a crazy ass, like, what? I mean, I guess. So when the interview is over, he gets up and he rushes over to Zora. I thought he was going to bust her in the mouth right there in the studio. I was like, boy, you about to reveal your hand, right? But he says to her, you've been fucking up a lot lately. We don't say fucking. But he was like, you've been messing up a lot lately. And she's all sort of like, I'm sorry. I said, Girl, you ain't even got to live this life. Why would you choose this? Now jumping over to Charity. Charity is meeting with the musical director for Maxine. And of course, he's a good-looking black guy. He's all holier than thou. He's a real good Christian. Looks like he's a straight man, and he's there to help her. They're going to come together and agree on the musical direction of The Day with Lady May. So he's smooth. He sits down, and before they're about to start, he's like, do you mind if we pray? I find that everything goes much smoother if we do pray. So Charity is just like, oh, okay. He's a praying man, too? Another one for the books. So they pray. While he's praying, Charity's looking up at him with a whole bunch of hope in her eyes. I said, girl, would you smitten already? Child, that Charity needed some love so bad. Somebody out there just need to give her a hug. Over in the other office, Maxine and Lady May, they're over there talking, laughing. Corinne comes in and she says, First Lady. And Maxine turns around and says, how many times we got to tell you she is not First Lady anymore? Okay, she is Pastor May Greenleaf. Okay, you need to call her that. Okay, well, whatever. It's fine. All right, what does Corinne want? Well, Lionel is on the phone for Lady May. And child Maxine look over at Lady May like, like, what does he want? And Lady May tells Corinne, tell him I'll call him back. But you could already tell that Lady May was thinking to herself, like, why is he coming out? Because I don't even think Lady May realizes that he's sick. Did Bishop tell her? She wasn't even hardly in last episode. No, I don't. So I don't believe that she knows. But anyway, back to what we were doing. Maxine tells Lady May that she needs to put Grace up there on the stage, for a Day of Lady May. Let her talk to the women because, Grace is, she captivates. She she gets an audience, and you know Lady May ain't going for that. Absolutely not. Okay, Maxine is like, what's the problem? Don't worry about it. I just told you that she ain't doing it. It's called a day with Lady May, not a day with Lady May and Grace. Now Zora mama, now that she got this information from the accountant, she goes to Jacob and she tells Jacob, do you know anything about these, it's all these undisclosed accounts and the accountant can't make heads or tails of it. Well, Jacob doesn't know. And she was like, well, I'm going to call Tasha the Skank. And he says, you ain't got to call Tasha the Skank. I will call Tasha the Skank. And she was like, you ain't got to call Tasha the Skank either. I said, I'm going to call her. I'm taking care. Remember, I told you I'm going to get this church together. Okay. So when she walks out of the room, Jacob hurries up and calls Tasha the Skank himself. So she, she's at the house and she is getting bent. She got the whole bottle of damn Jack Daniels, and she sees him calling. Now he want to talk. Okay, well, she doesn't answer the phone. There's a knock at the door, and when she goes to the door, it is Wicked City woman Rochelle. She was like, what the fuck is wrong with your phone? You not answering the phone? And Tasha the Skank was like, ain't nothing wrong with my phone. I just ain't want to talk to you. I'm done with this whole thing. And Wicked City woman Rochelle was like, come again? You what? I'm done with this whole thing. Wicked City woman Rochelle was like, what you mean you quit? And she says, just what I said, you guys are messing with the innocent man. And she said, innocent? Have you fallen in love with him? What if I did? Wouldn't things be so much better if I was with him than with Basie Skanks? That old good for nothing brother of yours, that ain't done nothing but bring me a whole bunch of heartache and pain. Wicked City woman Rochelle says, you know what? You got your damn nerves. Now, your husband is out there trying to fend for his life, okay? Pay off his debts just for you, and this is how you repay him? Tasha says, as far as she's concerned, Basie Skanks is dead. Now, what you need to do is get the fuck up out of my house and don't come back. If you do come back, I am going to call the police. Get out. So Wicked City woman Rochelle is mad now, okay? She go walking out of the damn house. You can see that she was pregnant in that little scene. They had a belt around her middle, but I could still see the pooch. But anyway, she go rushing to her car, and she gets inside, and she makes a call to somebody. She says, we got a problem. I said, oh, yes, you do. Now, after Charity finishes her meeting with Maxine's musical director, he says everybody from Maxine's team is going out to dinner. Would she be interested in going as well? And she says, oh, no, I can't go. He says, oh, I didn't realize you were married. I'm sorry. And she says, no, she has a son that she's got to get home to. She's not married. She's divorced. And since you're probably going to be around the church and you'll see him, he is gay. Okay. So she kind of gives her whole life story to him right then. I said, girl, you talk about oversharing. Now, why are you telling this man all that? But it doesn't run him off. Okay. He says, he was being deceitful by being gay and not saying anything, that he's gonna pray for her. Whatever. Charity is taken back by what he says, but she's just sort of like, oh, okay, pray for him. All right. Now, Maxine meets with Grace. And, they're sitting around talking. Maxine is like the auntie that nobody ever had. And they're laughing. And Maxine tries to slide in there, what's going on with you and your mama? Well, Grace does avoid the question. Okay, she ain't got that kind of time today. While she's there, Darius calls her and says, we got a hit on Wicked City woman Rochelle. Care to take a drive? We're going to do a little research. He going to take her into his world for once. And speaking of Wicked City woman Rochelle, she's having that midday drink with old Bishop that she mentioned earlier. She tells him how special this bottle that she brought was, that it was going to be for, the opening of her new home. And Bishop says, your new home or my new home? And she says, ours. Then they take their little drink and then they get real close like this, nose to nose, like they gonna kiss. And I said, oh, Bishop, Lord, he got a message for you and it is coming swiftly. He just keep digging his head. I mean, you know what? People just want love, but you done got so caught up. I'm like, this girl, why do you not see what's going on? He is just so wrapped up. Child, it just hurts my heart to see it happen to old Bishop. Now, jumping back over to Zora. She's at the house with Lil DeBarge. He just gets on my nerves just when I see him. And she's trying to make small talk with him, but he's ignoring her. So then she says, look, I apologize for what happened earlier. Then she lets him know that Spellman is trying to reach out, they wanted to come down and do an interview with them. And he was just like, Spelman, you ain't got no time for Spelman. She was like, why not? We in Atlanta now. I said, child, y'all done left Tennessee altogether. They in Atlanta now, so it would be easy for her to go over there to Spelman. He said, did you come down to Atlanta for Spelman or for me? And then she was just like, well, you tell me. Okay, you couldn't even let the hoes know on the radio that I was your girlfriend. And he was just like, well, if you start acting like a damn girlfriend, then maybe you would get treated as such. I ain't gonna be claiming nobody that be making all these kind of mistakes. Besides, last time he checked, Spelman don't take no high school dropouts. So as far as he concerned, Spelman don't even realize what you done got yourself into. I said, Zora, girl, leave this nigga. And I mean, with the quickness, we keep on trying to tell you. And speaking of Zora mama, now remember she promised Jacob that she was gonna call Tasha the Skank. And y'all already know the condition that Tasha the Skank is over there. And what do they say about a drunk mind speak a sober mouth? Child, that Zora mama call over there, and Tasha the Skank was just like, why are you calling me so upset? I'm so sorry, I'm a good person, but sometimes good people do bad things. And Zora mama was like, what are you talking about? She was just like, I'm sorry, like, what do you want? Zora mama was like, well, I want to talk to you about the accountant. And she says, it was just a kiss. And Zora mama said, what? Is that the reason why you left the church, Tasha the Skank? And she was just like, huh? And she said, is that why you left? You did something with my husband? And Tasha the Skank was just like, didn't know what to do. So baby, she just hung up the phone. I said, ooh, child, if that Zora mama ain't look like a bull with a red cloth in its face, that child might as well have had steam coming out her nose. I said, oh, Jacob. That's it. So she goes and confronts Jacob. He already could tell by the way she coming in there. She was just like, what the hell did you do with Tasha the Skank? And he was just like, oh God, what did she tell you? Well, you know what? I just got off the phone with her and she is fucking 4 sheets to the wind drunk over there. So can you imagine what she might have said to me? Something about my husband kissed her. You tell me exactly what happened. He says it was just a kiss. I said, Jacob, you so stupid. You don't even know how to be sorry for what you did. You sorry too. She says, oh, so it was a kiss, huh? First you said it was nothing, now you saying it's a kiss. Is it even more than that? Jacob is just sort of like, oh. He's like, he can't be bothered with this conversation right now. She's very upset. How could you do this to me again? She hits him. I said, girl, don't now look back. My mama always said, keep this kind of distance between you. But, she has every right to be upset. Like, the stuff that they went through at the very first season, even though we didn't see none of that the second season, I'm sure that would open up a very thinly healed wound. Okay, so while they in there arguing, the accountant comes in. I said, nigga, you ain't heard them damn arguing in there? Okay, this is absolutely the worst time to come talk, or is it? So the accountant comes in, and they both looking at him like, what you want? And he was like, oh, I'll come back later. You already in here now? What you want? He says, well, the books, they messed up. Seems right here it was a deposit, $200,000, and then the money just disappeared, and I don't know where it is. And that's when Zora mama looked back over at Jacob and said, you not only are you fucking around with the bitch, but she's stealing our damn money too. I hope you were satisfied. But we gonna close in on what's going on with Tasha the Skank, or at least Wicked City woman Rochelle we are. So Darius and Grace, they go up to the city that she grew up in, and they go to this house, and the woman is they're asking her if she knew anything about Wicked City woman Rochelle. And she says she don't know, that she doesn't recognize the name. What's Wicked City woman Rochelle's last name on the show? I don't remember. But she says, well, do you remember the name of the people that used to live here? And the woman thinks real hard, and then she says, James. Grace looks over at Darius, and I was just like, okay, that's not Skanks. So then I was trying to compute in my brain, like, okay, well, James. So we gonna get the answer in a minute, y'all. It's all fixing to come together, because then we see Lady May, okay, she knocks on the door, and old Lionel answers the door, and he says, I want to talk to you about my daughter. And I said, oh, I guess we all saw it coming. That is the rumor that has been floating around for 2 years now, ever since we met Lionel, that Lionel probably was Grace's father, and that's the reason why Lady May treats Grace so badly, because she's reminded of the fact that, this was when she cheated, and now she has a permanent representation of that fact in Grace. Okay, so the shit about to hit the fan with that. I mean, that is so unexpected with all the other shit that's going on in the church. Child, when they find out about Grace being Lionel's, That might not never get Lady May and Bishop back together. And I really want them back together. Jumping over to Charity, it's that night. She just put the baby down, and Michael, the director from Maxine's camp, he calls her. And he's just checking in on her. How was the dinner? She asked him. He says, oh, he didn't want to go, I guess because he didn't get to take her. Okay, but he is still trying to call to see if he can get a rain check. Maybe just him and Charity can go somewhere. And Charity says, you know what? I would like that. Okay, good. I said, oh, Charity, you might be about to get you some. But something about old Michael don't rub Charity the right way. So she says, earlier when we were talking about my baby's father, and he was like, yeah. And she was like, I just, what you said. And he was like, well, what's the problem? He's gay, right? And she says, yes. And he says, and he didn't tell you. So he was being deceitful. He's still being deceitful to himself now, okay? It's a sin, basically, to be gay. And he's going to pray for him. I said, wait a minute, hold up, calm down. Why are you coming so hard, Michael? You don't even know the guy. And Charity is trying to say the same thing, like, wait a minute, you don't know. He says, well, why are you taking up for him? I said, nigga, why are you coming so hard? Why all of a sudden you so damn judgmental when you just been the perfect, can we pray before this meeting? I find things go smooth and all. That's why you got to keep your good eye on these niggas, okay? He tells Charity, you know what, you deserve better. How do you know what I deserve? You don't know me. You don't know my life. Shout out to Jade. She was like, you know what? I do deserve better, okay? And it would not be you. And she hangs up. I said, okay, thank you, Charity. You get on my damn nerves, but that nigga get on my damn nerves more. Get rid of his ass. Grand opening, grand closing. And then, you guys, the moment that we all been waiting for, okay? Grace taking on back to the church, and she meets with her father, okay? She needs to talk to him. She says, Daddy, it's about Wicked City woman Rochelle. He immediately gets offended, defensive. What is it? And before you tell me, you better think long and hard that it's true. And she was just like, Daddy, you can't say nothing bad about Bishop's girl. And she tells him that she done went and did some research on Wicked City woman Rochelle, and her last name was James, that she is Daryl James's daughter. Now, who is that? Well, Daryl James is a man that was killed in the fire in the church. Remember all that talk about him the first season? Okay, remember the reason why Basie Skanks was coming after Bishop in the first place? Okay, yeah, that Daryl James is Wicked City woman Rochelle's father. And Charlie must have hit Bishop like a ton of bricks. He was like, what? I said, scratch the neck, you is molded Bishop. I shouldn't even laugh. But he was so damn just full in, nose wide open. I said, oh, Bishop, you done gave all your love and trust to this child. Thank God they didn't sleep together. Can you imagine if she would have got pregnant? You fucking around with Basie Skanks' half-sister, Bishop. Molded. And then lastly, as the show is going out, we see Zora at the house, in the bed with little Elder Barge's evil ass asleep. And she's seeing on the computer, the letter that Spellman sent her. She has that wistful look. Again, girl, get the hell up out of there. And then we see Zora mama. She's stressed out because she want to get in touch with Tasha the Skank and let her ass know that we know that your ass stole this fucking $200,000 damn dollars. Jacob is calling, but Tasha the Skank is not answering. I'm assuming she's probably still drinking over there. And she is. When the camera jumps over into her house, somebody is knocking at her door, and she already knows this Wicked City woman Rochelle. Go away! She keep on knocking at the door, and she was like, I told your ass to go away. I ain't playing with you. She get her lamp on the way to the door, like she about to work over Wicked City woman Rochelle. And she opened the door and said, what the fuck did I tell you? I said, stay away from this house. Wicked City woman Rochelle just kind of does like this and walks over to the side, and then, honey, the camera pans over, and then come around the corner is old smooth ass Basie Skanks. Tasha the Skank drops her damn lamp like, oh my God. He comes in and he was like, Tasha the Skank. Tasha the Skank. Okay, I was like, are y'all gonna kiss or what's going on? It was almost kind of sexual, primal, scared, like all that mixed in together. He comes in and she's backing up against the wall, and once she finally gets to the wall, he looks at her and he rubs her face and he says, I heard you been a bad girl. And then here comes Wicked City woman Rochelle right around his shoulder, and she looking at Tasha the Skank too. And I said, oh, Tasha the Skank. Girl, what is about to happen to you? Child, you better straighten up and fly right. Oh, I'm telling you, there's only 3 episodes left to this season, and they are going to be so Good, because the shit is about to hit the fan, y'all. All right, rock stars, let me get off of here. Make sure that you rate, comment, and subscribe to the channel. I'm itsrox. The channel is for itsrox, and everything else I do will be in the bottom bar. All right. So I hope that you have a wonderful, wonderful rest of your day, and I plan on doing the same. Till next time, rock stars. Bye.